What the fuck is up, everyone? The Meddler here. Yeah, I'm reviewing every album. It's time. I'm gonna do something different that is not rock or metal for once. Yeah, I'm reviewing rapper Eminem since he just released a new song, and yeah, I'm gonna make an exception on that. Don't expect any more from rapper reviewing every rapper's albums. But it's going to be the same way as I reviewed from every album, just so you know. Now, just to let y'all know, I'm not reviewing compilations, demos, mixtapes, or album or any collab albums, which means I'm not including albums from D12 or Bad Meets Evil. I'm only including his solo studio albums only. I'm not interested in EPs, compilations, or any of that. Just studio albums only. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, starting up, we got their first album, which is Infinite, released November 12th, 1996, with no singles released. And, yeah, it's alright. Nothing to say. I mean, as you may know, this album didn't really sell very well. According to Eminem, it sold like 70 copies, which is barely any. But, yeah, this album didn't really cause him to cause success here, which didn't really have any his ego until Slim Shady. Maybe because he never really thought of having an ego or any of that because of this failure release of an album. But separating from that to the music itself, it's somewhat fine. I mean, Infinite, which is pretty a solid track, I'm not gonna lie, such an underrated track. And then other songs are just mainly the beats in this album is just boom bap, boom bap, boom bap. But other than that, it just sounds generic, poorly produced, and just really unoriginal, to be honest with you. But yeah, the album itself is just not very memorable. I mean, it's not terrible or anything like that. It's mediocre, I would say. So I'm feeling this a 2 out of 5, leaning towards 2.5. But yeah, it's just poorly produced album, just not very original, and I could see why it barely got any attention. Alright, next up we got is the Slim Shady LP, released February 23rd, 1999, with 3 singles, with My Name Is, released January 25th, Role Model, released May 26th, Guilty Conscience, released June 8th. So, yeah, as I may know, this album pretty much made Eminem famous. I should say 4 singles, because of the song Just Don't Give a Fuck, which was released October 13th, 1998. I forgot to mention, Just Don't Give a Fuck is his first single, which was released on 1998. Yeah, but, since he released an EP in 97, which was introduced to Dr. Dre, he signed Eminem to Aftermath label. And as I may know, this album has a lot of hardcore elements, with some sounding with West Coast hip hop sound, which was produced by Dr. Dre. We got a lot of hardcore, and there's a lot of humor throughout this album. It has a lot of dark humor in this album. It's basically a hardcore album with Slim Shady as a psychopath with shit tons of great songs like My Name Is, Guilty Conscience, Brain Damage. It's basically focused on Slim Shady and how he's an evil psychopath. Tons of fucking dark humor throughout the throughout the album. But yeah, this is and throughout this album, this could be considered as a hip hop classic towards many hip hop heads out here. Now, as with myself, hip hop rap isn't really my favorite genre, but for this album, it's definitely a really great album. Yeah, I could easily consider this as a hip hop classic at some point. I definitely think this is a really great album, full of dark humor throughout the songs. So, yeah, I'm feeling a 4 out of 5 on this album. I definitely think this is a really great album, and I definitely think it's a start way for Eminem. Alrighty, next up we got is the Marshall Mathers LP, which was released May 23rd, 2000, with 5 singles. The Real Slim Shady released April 15th. The Way I Am released August 26th. Stan released November 20th. I'm Back released April 3rd, 2001. And Bitch Please 2 released May 23rd, 2001. And yes, this album, which we came to the point that this is without a doubt his best album. Without a doubt, easily his best album. This album has a lot less comedic effects from the previous album, and yes, the album is way darker than Slim Shady LP. Eminem is basically taking risks with controversy in this album. He doesn't give a shit about what he has to say here. He doesn't care if he pissed off. Hell, he doesn't even care if he pisses off the President of the United States. This is how controversial this fucking album is. I mean, this one has more, it has less of the Slim Shady's persona in this album. Many songs mainly focuses on Eminem's, whenever he grows up, which involves his mom, relationships with his ex-wife, his struggles, pretty much everything with it throughout his life of his effect growing up, and his thoughts on the music industry, his drug addiction, his effects on his youth, society, everything. It's basically throughout his life more than him on his Slim Shady persona. And yeah, back then he was pretty much hated on for use of homophobic slurs such as fags or faggots or whatever. Fucking fly. God damn. Sorry, got a fucking fly flew into my mouth. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I know that was random. But yeah. Oh, fuck. But anyway, besides all that, I think I spit it out, but I'm not worried about it. But yeah, this is, I don't know what to say. This is easily, again, his best album. He basically takes risk. I mean, he basically, as let me know, the album caused massive controversy, especially from recent events. Like, he talks about the Columbine shooting. He talks about choking women slowly so he can hear their screams for a long time. Especially the songs such as Kill You, Kim. And then he brings up referencing the Columbine shooting. Calling them out for blaming Marilyn Manson, who is basically blamed for all of that. And yeah. And there's a lot of that too. And there is a lot of moments throughout this album where it had to be some point where they had to censor certain moments, such as the lyrics, such as "I took 7 kids from Columbine, stand them on the line, at a AK-47, a revolver, and a 9," that had to be censored out, and other shit. And yeah, there's a censored lyrics that's from the song Kim that was removed from the clean version and was replaced with the song The Kids, such as "There's a 4-year-old boy laid dead with a slit throat." Because I think that word was censored because that album came out a year after the Columbine shooting, which happened on April 20th, 1999. But yeah, that's pretty much of a long-ass review. This is a really perfect album to tell you with. Definitely a masterpiece album from Eminem. So, y'all know where I'm going to rate this. Y'all let me know. The songs, tons of great songs. Bitch Please 2 is a sequel to Snoop Dogg's song, Bitch Please, which was released a year before that song was released. So, yeah, and then there's a heavy hardcore song called Amityville, which features Bizarre from, who is a fellow rapper of him from D12. But yeah, this album is just flat out perfect. I don't know what else to say. Definitely a start for hip-hop, for new to rap music. So, definitely a strong 5 out of 5. This is a hip-hop classic. I don't know what else to say. There's tons of great shit throughout the entire album. Even the skits are funny. Especially the song Marshall Mathers, where he basically dissed ICP, Insane Clown Posse, and all of that. So, yeah, again, 5 out of 5. Perfect album. Alrighty, next up we got is The Eminem Show, released May 26, 2002, with 5 singles. Without Me, released May 13th. Cleaning Out My Closet, released July 29th. Superman, released January 21st, 2003. Sing for the Moment, released February 25th, 2003. And Business, released July 22nd, 2003. And yeah, this is another classic album from Eminem. Now, as y'all may know, this album is much tamer than the last 2 albums because it abandoned the entire hardcore elements and it focuses more of the political stuff, such as 9/11, Al-Qaeda, War on Terror, President George Bush, Lon Chaney, and Tipper Gore. So, yeah. And there's also some dissing, too, such as Mariah Carey, Moby, Cannabis, and Limp Bizkit. And Dr. Dre also dissed Jermaine Dupri on the track Say What You Say. So, yeah, this album is definitely a classic album. And, yeah, tons of great songs. Tons of great classic songs. White America, which is basically focused on 9/11. And it's a pretty controversial song, too. Business, which is a funny song, but it's quite a banger. Cleaning Out My Closet is definitely an amazing song. Square Dance is underrated as fuck. I almost forgot about the song Square Dance. I haven't heard that song in years. Say Goodbye Hollywood is solid. Soldier is a great one. Then when you got The Kiss, which is basically the intro to Soldier. Drips, which this song was removed from the clean version of the album. Drips is mainly about STDs and all that. And it's kind of funny too. Especially the verse from Obi Trice. Without Me, which is definitely an Eminem classic. Sing for a Moment, which is sampled an Aerosmith song. And it's a great song. Superman is pretty funny. A little cheesy, but funny. And then we got Haley's song. And then When the Music Stops, that song is underrated as hell, which features Eminem's group T12. Till I Collapse is an amazing fucking song. I definitely fuck with that song, Till I Collapse. And fun fact, it is the most streamed non-single song of all time on Spotify. That's a fun fact. It is the most streamed song that is not a single. I actually saw that, looked that up as of June 2022. And then we got the last song, My Dad's Gone Crazy, and then Curtain's Close skit, which is a skit from a gay character, Ken Kniff. But yeah, this is definitely Eminem class. I think this is his second best album. I know some of you may... it's kind of back and forth. I know many people would put this back and forth between that and the Slim Shady LP. I kind of thought of that way too, but I'm starting to think this album is a little bit better than... it's a little bit better than the Slim Shady LP. But, yeah, I definitely think this is an absolute banger of an album. Definitely an amazing album. And, yeah, I would give this a 4.5 out of 5. This is definitely a classic album. Definitely for sure. I mean, yeah, it does have some, hardcore elements on there. It has more of a rap rock stuff to it. And no, Eminem is not a rock artist. Just so you know, he's a rapper. Yeah, it has some rock elements on there, but he's not a rock singer in general, okay? He's a rapper. So, yeah. Again, amazing fucking album. Alright, next up we got is Encore, released November 12, 2004, with 5 singles. Just Lose It, released September 27th. Encore, released November 9th. Like Toy Soldiers, released March 15th, 2005. Mockingbird, released April 25th, 2005. And Ass Like That, released June 7th, 2005. Now, this album is when Eminem started to go downhill a bit. Because this album is somewhat a sequel to the Eminem Show, mainly because of his album cover called Encore. I know many people said that this is Eminem's last album as a reflection of the title and cover art. Yeah, this was his last album before he went on hiatus for a while and haven't released an album until 2009. But with this album, it did have some high qualities here and there. And then there are some songs where he pretty much brought back more of a comedic tone from the Slim Shady LP. But unlike the Slim Shady LP, this album comedic style, for some reason, it kind of sounds immature for some reason. I kind of find the comedic sound immature with certain songs. Like, I find my first single, Beat, on that album to be extremely annoying. Rain Man, I mean, it's kind of a fun song, but a little cheesy. Big Weenie is stupid, to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest, I never liked the song Just Lose It. I find the Pee Wee Herman impression to be extremely annoying, to tell you the truth. I just find Just Lose It to be a very annoying song. It's just, I don't know, I just do not like his Pee Wee impression. And then Ass Like That, which is easily the worst song from this album. And I don't know why this song was released as a single. It pretty much supposed to be a parody of Crank Yankers with Eminem as a puppet, and it's just flat out stupid. It's just too dumb for me. But and besides all the negative stuff, there's some great moments too, like the songs like Toy Soldiers, which is definitely one of the best songs from the album, along with Mockingbird, which is probably the best song from this album. And then there's some underrated songs on there too. Like, I do like the song Spend Some Time, which features Obi Trice, Stat Q, and 50 Cent. I actually dug that song. Yellow Brick Road's decent. Never Enough is okay. I like One Shot, Two Shot with T12. I dug that one. And Encore is a great way to close the track, especially the skit at the end, which has Eminem shooting at the audience and shooting himself, which is supposed to be like a so-called final album, but it's not. And then there's a deluxe version, which features 3 more tracks, such as We As Americans Love You More and Ricky Tikki Talk. And some of these 3 songs are pretty much better than some of the songs on the actual album. But yeah, I'm also not a fan of this political approach of him. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna go into politics here, but there are some that I just don't care for. Like, I'm just not a fan of this Eminem going after George Bush, especially the bonus track. Fuck money. I don't rap for dead presidents. I'd rather see the president dead, which is pretty fucked up. Even though the line was censored, it's just, no, you don't say that shit. That will get you in so much trouble. But it's the past, so I'm not going to dwell on it. But yeah, overall, this is easily Eminem's most mid album to date. This is easily his most mid album. It has great moments, but it has some shit moments here and there. So I'm feeling a 2.5 out of 5 on this album. It's okay. I mean, I don't really mind this album too much, but if I would go back to it, I would just listen to certain songs from it and not listen to the entire thing. Alrighty, next up we got is Relapse, released May 19th, 2009, with 4 singles. Crack a Bottle, released February 2nd. We Made You, released April 7th. 3 a.m., released April 23rd, and Beautiful, released August 11th. Now, this album, yes, it's better than Relapse. I mean, yeah, just like Encore, he did some accents throughout the album, and some people may criticize it for being overused, but for me, I don't really mind his accents, unlike I did with Encore. At least it wasn't as annoying as it was in Encore with this Pee Wee Herman impression, which I just did not like. But this one, I didn't mind it at all. But this album has some really, really underrated songs. Originally in 2007, it was supposed to be called King Mathers, and it would be released in around 2007 or 2008. But then again, he was, during that time period, he was having a massive drug problem. He was on hiatus. He doesn't have the passion to rap at the time. And yeah, but then again, he was so addicted to sleeping pills, where it came to the moment where he almost died from overdose back in 2007. So yeah, and then he is pretty much cleaning his shit up. He's been into therapy and all that. So yeah, but then we got Relapse, and pretty much like his earlier materials, it pretty much brought back the horrorcore elements throughout the entire album. Like, especially the songs such as 3 a.m., which is easily a horrorcore track. And the song Insane, which is definitely, I'm not going to go into further details, but it's easily the most graphic Eminem song to date. Yes, I think it's more graphic than Kim, which you may want to look at the lyrics, because I'm not going to go into further details on that. And then we got My Mom, which basically his mom pretty much made Eminem turn into a drug addict. And there's also more hardcore songs, such as Same Song and Dance. We Made You, it's kind of one of those corny fest songs. That's from Encore. Sounds like a leftover from Encore a bit. Stay Wide Awake is definitely underrated. Yeah, I'm aware that this song is about rape. Old Time's Sake is quite a banger song, pretty underrated too. I find that song a pretty underrated track, Old Time's Sake. And then Deja Must Be the Ganja, which is basically about Eminem's addiction at the studio. Deja Vu is mainly about his drug addiction back in 2007 and how he almost died from an overdose. Beautiful, which is easily the best song from this album. It's mainly his song about his depression. Here's a fun fact. This song was written in 2005, but it could not be finished until 2007 where he became clean. So, yeah, I think it was leaked around 2007, but it wasn't really quite finished. But yeah, and then we got Crack a Bottle, which is sort of a cheese fest type song, but it's not too bad. It's somewhat a horror, which features the song Dr. Dre and 50 Cent. And originally, for some odd reason, 50 Cent said that it was supposed that Crack a Bottle was originally going to be on 50 Cent's album Before I Self-Destruct. For some odd reason, it was originally going to be a 50 Cent song, but however, that was supposed to be on both Relapse and Before I Self-Destruct, which was released later after Relapse. But for some odd reason, it was only on Relapse. That's what I read on Wikipedia. So yeah, and then we got the last track, Underground, which is a really great way to close the track. It pretty much tells you that Eminem is back and he is sober. He's much better now and all that. He is saying, I'm back to fuck the world up. That's pretty much how he's saying it on the last track, Underground. And then we got some really underrated tracks from the deluxe edition, such as My Darling, which is basically Eminem trying to fight his demons, and Careful What You Wish For, which is a very underrated track. I think this is one of those songs that was meant to be on King Mathers or something. But yeah, this album, I definitely think this is quite Eminem's most underrated album. Yeah, there's a few that's kind of a solid letdown at some point, but not a lot. And according to Eminem, he said that this is his worst album. But he said he doesn't hate it. I don't think it's his worst album. I know some fans do, and I kind of sort of see why. But this album, I just thought it's decent overall. I mean, yeah, he did all that persona as to feel the tone of this album. But is it the best Eminem album I've heard? No. It's not the best. So I'm feeling a strong 3 out of 5 on this album. It's a pretty decent album overall. So I wouldn't say it's his best or anything like that. So yeah. Alrighty, next up we got is Recovery, released June 18th, 2010, with 4 singles. Not Afraid, released April 29th. Love the Way You Lie, released June 18th. No Love, featuring October 5th, and Spacebound, released June 18th, 2011. Now, this album is another fucking step up from Relapse. And I'm not gonna lie, this is definitely one of Eminem's strongest albums. I definitely think this is his best album since The Eminem Show. No lie. I mean, it has tons of great moments. This originally, there was supposed to be a Relapse 2, but during the writing process, Eminem just wants to do something different this time. So, as let me know, he got sober and felt much happier during the process of Relapse, having to overcome his drug addiction. And for over the reason throughout 2009 and 2010. And then I know he released an EP called Relapse Refill, was supposed to be a lead up towards Relapse 2. And then up until like around 2010, you feel like it just doesn't feel like it feels connected to the previous album, Relapse, which was, so he wanted to feel like, it feels more, yeah, it kind of somewhat does feel like a sequel to Relapse, but he kind of wants to make it a complete different album with a much more accurate title called Recovery, which is feel like it's a much more accurate title than Relapse 2. So, and it's definitely for his much more mature album than which feels like a much more mature album than Relapse. So he definitely wanted to started it from scratch. Since he was, but by the time he was recording and reworking, he kind of feel like he just doesn't feel like they fit well with the Relapse content, and he just wanted to make it a complete different approach. So, yeah, as with this one, it was also, plus it has some really great songs, really, definitely some hits as well. I mean, I know many people would bash me for liking this album. Oh, it's fucking pop, it's on sex. Like, for real. Like, just because it has pop sound, it doesn't automatically mean it's bad. I mean, Cold Wind Blows is a very solid way to open the track. Talking to Myself, which features Kobe. No, not Kobe Bryant. R.I.P. though. And we got really great. Then we got On Fire, which is somewhat a hardcore track at some point. Which is somewhat. I guess this was a song that was meant to be from Relapse 2, which such a song is about a murder and dismemberment fantasy. And then we got Won't Back Down, which features Pink, and it's actually one of my favorite Eminem songs. As all me know. Then we got White Trash Party. In my opinion, White Trash Party is probably my least favorite song from Recovery. I mean, I still like it. It's just, it doesn't really hold up as well. And then we got Going Through Changes, which is a sample from Black Sabbath's song Changes. And it definitely is basically, just like with Deja Vu, it's basically Eminem's Recovery. Basically about Eminem's overdose back in 2007. And then we got Not Afraid, which is easily one of his most popular tracks on there. It's about his recovery, which leads to the album Recovery. And then we got Seduction, which is sort of what I don't know, mainly about some sex or something about that. I don't know. It's about stealing your girl. It's kind of a cheese fest type songs, but it's somewhat a cheese fest in a good way type song. And then with the song No Love, which features Lil Wayne, it's not about bullying, okay? Like what you've seen in the music video. Now, as so many guys know, I am not really a big fan of Lil Wayne, just to let you know. I think most of Lil Wayne's music is just terrible, and I just can't stand it. But as with this song, I don't mind him at all in this song. It did not bother me a bit at all with this song. But as with the content, it's mainly, but Eminem still killed it on this song. He definitely dethroned Wayne on this song, without a fucking doubt. No debate here. And yes, I have to say Lil Wayne is easily the most overrated rapper ever. But as with this song, he wasn't that bad on this song. So yeah, I've heard worse from Lil Wayne, so he was okay in that song. But yeah. But as with this, and then as with the next song, Spacebound, which was a fourth single, which kind of has this rockish tune, kind of like something from the Eminem show had, which is a really great songs. Even though the video caused some controversy, um, with him shooting himself with blood coming out. It's kind of, the song is basically with two sides with his love and relationship. I guess it has something to do with Kim, another Kim track, but it's very tame compared to the song Kim from Marshall Mathers LP 1. And then we got Cinderella Man, which is quite an underrated track. Kind of has this rockish tune to it. 25 to Live, which is a solid track, which is basically thinking about retiring. Then we got So Bad, which was produced by Dr. Dre. Then Almost Famous, which pretty much got into the Slim Shady, fused the other side of Slim Shady as alter ego. And then we got one of the most popular songs from Eminem, which called Love the Way You Lie, which features Rihanna, which has a abusive relationship. I guess it's mainly between Eminem and Ken. And Rihanna's view on this song is basically between her and Chris Brown. And then You're Never Over, which is basically closer to a wrap-up. And then Hidden Track, which is untitled, which is basically a wrap-up song to the album. And then we got two songs, Writers and Session 1, which features Slaughterhouse, which for some reason didn't end up on the album. I do find the song Writers is underrated as fuck. So is Session 1. But yeah, I definitely think this is Eminem's strongest. Like I said, his strongest since the Eminem Show. And I definitely think this is a really great album. I don't care if it's poppy or not. I just definitely enjoy this album. So I'm feeling a 4 out of 5 on this one. I definitely think this is a really great album. I mean, yeah, I don't see what's wrong with this album, to tell you the truth. I mean, yeah, it does sound different, but it's very executed perfectly for apparent reasons. So, yeah. Alrighty, next up we got is the Marshall Mathers LP2, released November 5th, 2013, with 5 singles. Berserk, released August 27th. Survival, released October 8th. Rap God, released October 15th. The Monster, released October 29th. And Headlights, released November 5th. So, yeah, another solid album from Eminem. As some of you know, this is a sequel to his 2000 album, Marshall Mathers LP, which is a fucking classic. And, yeah, this album has more Eminem's technical rapping abilities than his previous album, and it has quite solid production. It's mainly about the song. The album starts up, as you know, with Bad Guy, which it has 2 sections of the song. It's kind of, the song Bad Guy is basically a sequel to the song Stan. As you know, it's mainly his family just going after Eminem because he ignored the letters from Stan and siding by him. And then we got the song Rhyme or Reason, which followed up from a skit, which is basically a sequel to the song Criminal. As you know. And then next song, which is So Much Better. I guess it kind of somewhat follows up with well, how do you say it? So Much Better. I mean, kind of a slightly cheese fest song, a bit, not a lot. Then we got Survival. It kind of has this hard, sounds like a song that's from Recovery a bit. Survival, but it still sounds good. But yeah, tons of great songs on there. I mean, compared to fucking songs like, we got Legacy, which is an alright song. It's a little boring, but still somewhat decent. And then we got Asshole, which is somewhat a slightly hardcore track, but not too much. Then we got Berserk, which is a pretty great song. Definitely a first choice. It definitely, it's a sample from Billy Square's song, The Stroke, which is, and as well as the influences from the Beastie Boys. So there's that with Rick Rubin as production. As Eminem is known for this fucking loudness war, but this one it didn't. So I'm not gonna complain on that. Then we got Rap God, which is easily the most popular song from the album. The album is noticed for definitely it brought back Slim Shady with his ego style, and yeah, this is also noticed for having Eminem rapping extremely fast. How many words did he say in like 15 seconds? Like 50 words in 15 seconds? I don't know. I forgot, to tell you the truth. And as we know, the album got some homophobic slurs with terms like faggot. Which, I mean, as we know, again, he's not homophobic. He performed a song Stand with Elton John. Come on, LGBT people. Come on, it's Eminem. It's nothing new here. Like, seriously. But yeah. But yeah, really solid song. And then we got fucking Brainless, which is an okay song. Stronger Than I Was, which is the least favorite. Monster is decent. So far, somewhat underrated track. I mean, it's a sample from Joe Walsh's Life's Been Good. And I kind of like the interruption sound was from the real Slim Shady and I'm Back, which is pretty much a closer thing to it. And it's mainly, the song is mainly about his fame, as we know. And then we got Love Game, which is sort of a weird jazz type track. The song features Kendrick Lamar, as we know. Headlights, which is basically Eminem apologizing for his mom and wanted to make amends with her. And then we got the song, last song, Evil Twin, which is basically about Slim Shady. And then there's a Call of Duty Ghost bonus track called Don't Front. And then we got 5 bonus tracks called Baby. Basically B-side tracks from that didn't make it to the cut. So yeah. Not quite as good as Recovery, but it's a really good album. But it does not hold as much as it did in the first Marshall Mathers LP. This is definitely not a classic, but it's a really good one. A pretty strong album, most of all. So, yeah, I give this a 3.5 out of 5. I definitely think this is a really good album. I wouldn't say it's a disappointment, because I never think this album would be as good as the first album. I never expected it to be like that, so, yeah. Oh, boy. What I have to say. Next up is Revival. Released December 15th, 2017. With 4 singles released. Walk on Water, released November 10th. River, released December 15th. Nowhere Fast, released March 27th. And Remind Me, released July 6, 2018. Yeah, this is a massive downfall. Pretty much throughout Eminem's career, it went some great, went down, and then up to good, and then just bad. Just terrible with this album. I mean, what else I have to say? I mean, do we need another re-album, like Relapse Recovery? And this, I mean, I thought he's done with that, but I guess not. I mean, come on. Like, seriously, you're back with the political shit again. I thought you're done with that. But I guess you lied. Like, it got way too political. Not only that's terrible about this album, it's just I mean, the rap rock samples are just way too outdated, to tell you the truth. to be honest with you. It's just so outdated. Not even the song Framed is that good, to be honest. It kind of, it just sounds way too, it's just too outdated. Um, I mean, seriously. It's just like, it's so outdated. Come on now. Um, like, seriously, it's just not that great of it's just a massive step. I can see why many people say this is his worst album. It's just really, really, really weak. It's very poorly produced. I don't know what the hell M was doing with this album. It's just lack of focus. Lyrics aren't even that good. Too much heavy sample of rock music in the production. I know he did it in previous albums. They did it way too much. And the unnecessary pop collaborations. Like, this is turning into a pop album. And I just really hate that direction he's going to. I mean, I'll admit, yeah, there are some okay songs. There are some songs that I don't mind, such as Believe, Untouchable's good, River, featuring Ed Sheeran. That's like it. The rest is just a massive bore fest. I just do not like this album at all. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible. 1 out of 5. This album is fucking terrible. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Alright, next up we got is Kamikaze, released August 31st, 2018, with only 3 singles. Fall, released September 4th. Venom, released September 21st. And Lucky You, released November 30th. And all I have to say about this album, yes, it's better than Revival, but I don't think this album is very special. I mean, I feel like this album is extremely predictable. I mean, most of this album is basically Eminem dissing critics over their over Revival. But at least this album doesn't have a lot of pop music elements. I think it only has like one pop singer in this album, which is Jessie Reyes. I think she's like a pop singer. I don't know. I don't know much about her. But with the 2 songs, Nice Guy and Good Guy, I guess those are one song in separate tracks. But then, after that, this album, I'm just not a big fan of the trap beats throughout the album. They're kind of lame, to be honest. I thought The Ringer is kind of a lame way to open the album. It kind of feels like, a lamer version of Bad Guy. Greatest is honestly not good, to be honest with you. Then Lucky You, which I thought it was okay. Normal is decent. I did like Normal. It's not too bad. And then we got, I'll admit, Stepping Stone did hit. I do like Stepping Stone. It kind of feels like the early 2000s era of Eminem. Kind of reflects on his personal life. It kind of has this Eminem show type vibes. Not Alike, which features Royce da 5'9". I thought that sucks. Kamikaze is okay. Fall is actually pretty decent. Nice Guy and Good Guys. I kind of like this experimental vibe to it. And then we got the final track, Venom, which is a soundtrack for the movie Venom from 2018. And yeah, as for this, some of the songs do kind of hit. Some of the songs are just, meh, I just don't care for it. So the lyrical content in the album, it's just Eminem being Eminem, like dissing people, using homophobic slurs, and all that. So, yeah, I've heard worse, but I've heard better from Eminem. So, I'm feeling a 2.5 out of 5 of this album. Yes, it's better than Revival, but it's not great. Alright, next up we got is Music to Be Murdered By, released January 17th, 2020, with 3 singles. Darkness, released January 17th, Godzilla, released January 31st, and Those Kinda Nights, released July 17th. Not good album. Sorry, it's just not good. I mean, it's not as good as Kamikaze, but it's not as bad as Revival. I'll say that. It's basically, this album is basically Relapse coming from a microwave. That's how I consider this album. It's basically, we have Relapse at home. And this album is just kind of went back to its hardcore roots. It's really nothing original. It's just Eminem being Eminem. It's just the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And oh boy, this is not a memorable album. It's just bad. From start to finish. I mean, hell, there are some fucking mumble rappers on this in this album, for fuck's sake. I did not give a shit about fucking Godzilla with Juice WRLD in it. I didn't give a shit about Those Kind of Nights. I didn't care for On Condiment, which features fucking Young M.A. on there. I mean, I'll admit, there's some few songs I don't mind. Like, You Gonna Learn is okay. I kind of fuck with that song a bit. But the rest is just, it's boring, it's bad, not good. It's just lame, outdated, not original. It's just the same old shit going over and over and over again. And yeah, the production is outdated. And Eminem is back with those. I mean, I didn't mind it with Relapse, but this one, it just got old. Okay? It just got really old. It's just, no. Yeah. This is bad. The album is just bad in so many ways. Lyrics are pretty cringe too. And it has some pop sounding sounds. Not as much as Revival, but it's still bad. I'm feeling a 1.5 out of 5 on this album. It's just not a good album at all. Just not good. I mean, yeah, it just has tons of... And yes, just because you rap fast doesn't automatically mean it's good. Like, come on, people. Godzilla is really not that great of a track. Come on. Yes, it's impressive. But come on. Fast rapping just got old, people. Come on. Okay, do we fucking have to? Fine. Music to Be Murdered by Side B. Released December 18th, 2020. With singles? I guess Nat? Is that really a fucking single? I don't think there's any singles from here. You know why? Because this fucking sucks. Oh, Lord. I don't know where to start. I've already did a review on this a long time ago, and, wow, this is even worse than the fucking Side A album. Fucking trap beats. Come on. Stop it. Trap is not for you, Slim Shady. Or if Slim Shady's really into... Not really. This is a massive step. It sucks even more. Hell, this doesn't even exist. I mean, fucking song Tone Deaf. What the hell is that song? Book of Rhymes, which is another shitty trap beat. Favorite Bitch. What the fuck is that song? And Guns Blazing, which is featuring the return of Dr. Dre, who has been absent the last few albums. And guess what? That song isn't even that great. Total dog shit. Fucking dog shit song. Higher, okay, I'll admit, Higher, that song isn't that bad. These Demons featuring Maj, which is another boring track. Oh, this is a fucking bore fest of an album. It's basically Side B, but Music Be Murdered By, but it's much worse. Oh my god, don't get me started with the song Killer. Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Oh man. The songs, fucking Nat, Favorite Bitch, Tone Deaf. These god awful songs. Holy shit! And I thought the song "Ass Like That" was bad. Oh yeah, let's talk about that key skit. Fucking Pee Wee Herman impersonation. Fuck. Come on now. Yeah, fuck this album. Oh man, I can't even call this an Eminem album. No wonder why this is a fucking B-side track. Oh man, I could care less if you fucking crybaby stans whine about it or make death threats at me in the comment. This is just trash. 0.5 out of 5. Pure atrocious album. Or fucking disc 2 that is full of outdated shit on here. Yeah. What the hell is that shit? Like, come on. Fuck this. I'm done here. Alright, guys, so that is my reviewing every Eminem album list. So, yeah. And my thoughts on that new song, not bad. I'll say it's decent. I wouldn't say good, but not bad. I mean, I could give another chance since it kind of improved. But we'll see. I don't know. But yeah. Hope you enjoy this, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the fuck out of here. So I'm out.